Hey, my name is Ben. Today I'm going to show you how I use Claude at work to automate as much work as humanly possible. Claude probably saves me anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week. So if you're like me and your day is full of working in spreadsheets and presentations, stick around because I'm going to show you how to get the same returns. We're going to use the Claude desktop app, and this is just the simplest way to automate something with Claude is you just use the chat feature and you tell it what you want done. So here I'm saying write an email to Mr. Krabs, responding that we will not be doing something. But let's say you do this task often and you don't want to keep re-explaining to Claude what your relationship is with Mr. Krabs, what the background of this project is. Well, in that case, what we'd want to actually do is create what's called a skill in Claude. And we don't even need to do it ourselves. We can tell Claude to do it. So we'll say something like, create a skill to write emails to Mr. Krabs. Always be polite and professional. Remember this about our relationship in business. So if we send that, it'll load this skill creator skill. So it's gone ahead and created these skill files for us. And all we need to do to save it to Claude, so we never have to give it this context again, are to hit save skill. So once the skill is saved, go ahead and hit manage. The other way to get to your skills is to go to this plus sign, go to skills, then manage skills. You can also browse other people's skills. Here's our Mr. Krabs email, skill. How many times am I going to say skill in this video? Jeez. Here are all the instructions that will be fed to Claude every time we use the skill. When is it going to use the skill? If we hit see more here, we can see the trigger is either a slash command or automatically. So as you're talking with Claude, it'll check if anything you're asking it to do fits this description. If so, basically anything restaurant related, it will be triggered. So next time we get an email from Mr. Krabs, instead of giving it all the context once again, we can just paste the email in there and do slash Mr. Krabs email. And I'm just going to say, tell him I don't wanna. Here it's loading the skill. Dear Mr. Krabs, I won't be able to work Christmas Day this year. I already got plans. Respectfully, SpongeBob SquarePants, fry cook of the Krusty Krab. So without us giving any context, I mean, I'm sure it would have guessed that SpongeBob works at the Krusty Krab. This skill preloaded a ton of additional context. We didn't have to type any of it in there. We just gave it this super short prompt. Just tell him I don't wanna. And with only that, it effectively automated this piece of work for us. Okay, so we went over just giving it a simple query for one-time thing. Now we have skills for repeatable tasks. Some other powerful ways to just use chat, either those one-time or recurring requests that you build skills around, are you can drag files in, have it analyze or check the accuracy of, or summarize them for you. And here's where things kind of get crazy. So remember that you can do any of these things and you can combine the features of Claude to do some really powerful things. So in this example, we have some data about the Krusty Krab and what items we sell and how much profit we make, right? So we've added files. Maybe we want to create a skill that gives us like a weekly report based off of this data. We can add connectors so we can connect to different tools to Claude. We can search the web if we want to fact check something, but let's focus on this connectors thing for right now. If we go to manage connectors, you can see all the different software that you can connect to Claude. And just like a skill, it'll only use the tools when appropriate. For example, if your work items are stored in Atlassian, you can connect this to Claude. Now we can tie in this Excel sheet data with data from Atlassian. For example, we can say correlate work items in Atlassian or Jira to cost spikes. Web search if any, and again, web search is another functionality, stacking on top. Web search if any supply chain events happen in Bikini Bottom that cause the cost spikes. All that is to say, see what your IT department has approved. Be sure to go up to here to browse all of the connectors that are available to you. There's tons and tons of popular tools here. Now you can start mapping the different websites that you actually physically browse to on a day-to-day basis and start automating that work. So now that we've basically exhausted the possibilities of vanilla chat, what we're going to do now is go to Cowork, which gives Claude a task to run autonomously. So let's pretend we've uploaded this Excel sheet to Google Drive. Now we're in Cowork, right? We're going to say once a week, Wednesday at 9 a.m., correlate work items in Atlassian to cost spikes in this data. We can even give it where to look for it and the web search as well. So this will just do what we said, but automatically. So again, you don't have to go into each of these platforms and do the analysis yourself every morning or on this Wednesday morning, right? It'll just do it for you. Something to consider is this is going to use tokens every time it does this analysis. As much as possible, try to offload automation to scripts. So just plain code, because that's going to make your results more accurate and less costly. So if every day I'm opening 2 Excel spreadsheets and comparing data from one to the other, that might be something easily automatable with the Python script. There's not a whole lot of variation there. Every week it's doing the same thing. And it's like a very specific set of rules, right? Like every day look at this cell and look at this cell. And that's basically the 80-20 of how to use Claude to get these crazy compounding returns at work. It used to be a pain to write your own scripts and debug them even when AI wrote them, but now it's getting so good that I've been taking an automation first approach, because automating a task now takes less time than doing it manually. So it literally doesn't make sense to do it manually. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Leave a like if I was able to help you out, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my pro tips on using Claude at work. See you in the next video. Peace.